Y'all, I'm flying from Melbourne, Australia to Dallas, Texas, which is a 17-hour, 14,500-kilometer flight, and here's how I spent it. Today, I'm flying Qantas Business Class on their Boeing 787 Dreamliner, and although I've done this flight before, I still have to always mentally prepare myself for the length because it's actually the fourth longest flight in the world. After settling into my seat, which was 3A, I was greeted with a glass of champagne. Y'all already know this is one of my favorite seats because it's towards the front of the cabin, which means you're served dinner quicker, and it also has the partition on the aisle side, which makes the suite a little more private. All of the seat controls are right beside you, including the seat massaging option and the ability to lay it completely flat to catch some Z's. Before I knew it, we were wheels up, and it was time for me to somehow fill 17 hours without Wi-Fi, which I actually enjoy. I started by filling out my breakfast card for the flight attendant to collect, which allows them to know what I want to eat when I wake up in the morning. I then went through the amenity kit. Now, this one was actually a new design I had never seen before. It was by a brand named Coscella, but the contents inside were the same as usual, which were face cream, hand cream, lip balm, socks, eye mask, toothbrush, and toothpaste. Before COVID, I remember getting a pen in the amenity kit, which I sort of wish they still did because it is handy for filling the breakfast card and immigration cards out. My next activity on board was to explore the lavatory. The bathroom isn't massive, but there is enough space to stand and change in it. There's also a full-length mirror on one of the walls, and the sink, soap, creams, and smaller mirrors are on the other wall. Now, I know I've shown these before, but the Dreamliner has really cool electric windows that are completely automatic, so you just press the button up or down to increase or decrease opacity of it. It was then time for me to kick back and relax with dinner and a movie. Qantas has a pretty good selection of movies and a very intuitive screen that's easy to navigate and control by touch. I went with a scary movie called Talk to Me, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I found it a little disturbing, and it's not for the faint of heart. I always bring my own noise-canceling headphones for long-haul flights because they are more comfortable than the ones provided, and they also drown out all of the noise for me to be able to sleep better. It was then time for dinner, which actually lasted over an hour on its own. To start, we were served almonds and an arancini ball before moving on to the entrees. I paired my meal with a crisp Australian Chardonnay, which went perfectly with my first dish, which were the chicken skewers. They were really good, but would have been better if they came with a dipping sauce. For my main, I went with the beef fillet and porcini mushroom butter. The steak was really thick and cooked well done, and even though I prefer medium rare, it was actually really good. I scarfed that down and moved on to the dessert I ordered, which was an ice cream sandwich. Now, I know the last few Qantas flights I took to and from Europe, the food was horrible, but this flight definitely made up for that. It was then time for me to change into my Qantas PJs and do some work, which made me tired, so I laid that seat flat and made up my bed for a good night's rest. I woke up after about 4 hours of sleep and decided to check out the onboard snack bar, which has all sorts of sweet and savory treats. And y'all, look at how puffed up this chip bag was due to the air pressure change, so y'all know I had to get it, and no, when I opened it, it did not make a loud noise. The flight attendants also brought around hot snacks mid-flight, so y'all know I couldn't resist trying one, and I'm glad I did because this ham and cheese toasty was on point. After a couple more hours, it was then time for my breakfast, which was an egg white omelet, yogurt and granola, and some fruit. I then freshened up, and one of my favorite travel items is this Aesop facial mist, which makes your face feel so hydrated and is needed after this long flight. The 17 hours went really quick this time, and before I knew it, I was disembarking the aircraft in the Lone Star State.